Welcome to Common Man Cocktails. I'm your host Derek Schomer, and I'm sitting on my couch today for another Q&A session. This will be volume 3. It's Monday, so we don't have a cocktail today, but I still like to fill the show with something when I can. It becomes an optional thing. I don't always have time, so like I didn't get to do on Saturday like I had hoped. So trying to bust out some answers to some of the commonly asked questions. I've already been able to reference the prior videos for people who had questions that required complex answers, like why did I get started with this? Sitting at home on the new couch, so that's kind of cool. It's kind of tall actually, but get this done before everybody gets home and this place gets real loud. So I got my sticky, I've got my chicken scratch, I get some answers. Do I have my own cocktail recipes on our YouTube channel? Now, turns out YouTube's grown a lot. We have 10,300 users and it continues to grow, about 1,200 a month or more, and that's kind of become my primary focus. A lot of our interaction has been there. While we have the website, I'm gonna email. While we have our website, we get a lot of cool comments through there. I see where the bulk of the audience is, so a lot of this is YouTube centric. So I want to build a playlist of all of our YouTube videos that we've done that are our own recipes. I also want to redo some of our old recipes, like our margaritas, and try and get those up to date so that not only have I learned a lot through the 3-year process that we've been doing this, but the resolution isn't so good, and I just, there's certain videos that I'm really proud of, like I like our margarita recipe and I really want to be able to share it, but I have a hard time personally sharing these old recipe videos because they're just so old and dated. So some of these have to be redone. And I need to build a playlist for that. It's just a lot of work to go through every recipe and find the names of recipes I know I've done and create a playlist for them. Go on our website, tag them, and build a category drop down for them. So it's just it's a process that I've got to work through. Once I'm there, it's easy to play keep along. You know, like our co-host recipes, I can easily go through now and add the new co-host, like last week when Doug was here. Easy to put 5 recipes in. A lot harder to go through 900 plus recipes and look for all the co-host shows. So we're getting there. I really just have to sit down one night and bust through the playlist. So on that same note though, when Doug was here, we had created the Stormfront cocktail. We had a really good time, and Doug's now back home in North Carolina. He'll be moving here in a month or two, but he's already kind of inspired, and he went out to buy alcohols just so he can create new recipes, and he's really getting into it. And it was a fun experience to be able to take, you know, Malibu and figure out how to build a Malibu red recipe, keeping its heritage of Malibu red and what it is, but bringing in some more complexity without going overboard, and being able to make something that was rock solid and that people go out and they make and they're proud of. Nothing is better than when I get those comments saying, oh, we made this at a party, everybody loved it. That's awesome for a recipe we created. So into the future, I hope to create a lot more recipes, a big archive of recipes. You know, we won't do them every week, but to have those and be able to publish them, you know, depending on how many we make once a week, I don't know. But be able to get to that level, and I'd like Doug to help with that because he's got a very good palate and he has a very good opinion about stuff. And I think the Stormfront cocktail, along with Jennifer's interpretation, wouldn't have been the same had I sat down to develop them myself. So just something to think about. Another question we get are, would we do non-alcoholic, or why don't we do non-alcoholic cocktails, or have we thought about it? I've always thought about it, but to me, to do that I would rather do that as more of a family activity. For a non-alcoholic cocktail, I'd rather bring my children into that show and be able to build something that they would like, because in a lot of cases, if you make a cocktail, strawberry base with maybe some mango or something, and maybe it's a smoothie, I don't know, something like that, and your kids really enjoy it, then it becomes a family activity. Adults will probably love it too. So, I mean, kids and adults' palates aren't that different. They are a little better on expressing themselves, so I think they really should be involved. So I don't know if that would be a separate type of show. I don't even think I have time for that, but I've always thought about it. I think it's a great idea. Something to think about if anybody out there is looking to become YouTube stars or something and you want to create something. Bring your children in, make non-alcoholic cocktails until I do it and beat you. Number 3, recommendations for starting a bar. I have a video on what you should buy to start a bar, but to summarize, find a recipe you love. For me, it was the margarita. Become a professional with that recipe. For me, that means testing different orange liqueurs, different proportions of agave nectar, different proportions of tequila, different proportions of lime. Make it your own and make it awesome, and then test it with friends. Go to a party, bring all the ingredients along and make them. Figure out what people like. Find the common denominator that you believe this is the recipe. Call it good. Now you've got your orange liqueur. Maybe you have 2 different ones you were playing with. You've got your favorite tequila and your limes. Then start another recipe. Maybe it's the Mai Tai. Become a professional. Get the ingredients for the Mai Tai. Continue to do this through maybe 5 recipes, and you'll find out you've grown your bar. And not only did you grow it with alcohol, but you grew it with alcohol that you feel you're a professional in being able to make cocktails with it. Somebody comes over, you can whip up any of those 5 cocktails and feel like you've really utilized them. If you just go out and buy 1 gin, 1 vodka, 1 tequila, some liqueurs, chocolate liqueur, this and that, Bailey's, this, that, or Cool Swan or something, because you've seen it on the show. If you don't have any reason, if you don't have a recipe that you've already enjoyed making it, and you're not ready to experiment with that, don't buy it. It doesn't make any sense to waste your money. Waste your money when you know you have something you can do with it. Then it's not so much of a waste. Stranded. What alcohol would I bring? So if I'm on an island and I'm stuck there by myself, or maybe with friends, I think right now, in this time period, I would probably go with the bourbon. Because I don't know why. That's just how I feel right now, and that may change. 2 years ago, I would have easily said a tequila. Last year, I might have said a rum. Maybe, you know what? Maybe it's a dark rum. Maybe I would take a dark rum. It's tough for me to decide. Maybe even a scotch. I could really go. Maybe it would be a scotch. You know what? I'm changing that. I'm going with scotch. Scotch whiskey for that question. But see, it changes all the time. So it depends on the season, what mood you're in. 5. How long it's chicken scratch, it's hard to read. How long have I been making cocktails? Well, I have the show for 3 years. I've been probably making cocktails for 5. And out of those first 2 years, it was pretty much, like I said, margaritas, Mai Tais, very basic. I don't want to say not complex cocktails, but basic in like no more than 5 different cocktails. Otherwise, I was just drinking firewater straight. That's when I decided something needed to change. I needed to branch out. So not very long for those. In college, I don't count making brain hemorrhages and shooting them back. That was a different time. I wasn't making cocktails at the time. I was just experimenting. Let's see. Straight or mixed? I would say, depending on my mood. The winter time, I would say more straight. Summertime, definitely more of a mix. I don't sit out on the porch on a hot day and drink straight anything. Vanilla schnapps might be good, but I typically like more of a lemonade style, slightly sour drink with some acidity for the summertime. Let's see, favorite type of alcohol. While I said I'd take scotch to an island, that doesn't necessarily mean it's my favorite type of alcohol, because for me, my favorite type of alcohol would be a rum. And the reason for that is I found that rum is much more, there's much more flavor and variety with rums. There are flavors of rums, but I'm talking like the dark rums, amber rums, light rums, all the different categories of rum, even within a category of dark rums. There's so much different variety based on what island it was on, how it was stored, how it was distilled, was it using cane, molasses, and there's so much variety. Even throw some cachaça in there. You've got a spirit with some sugar cane, and that 10 cane rum is another good one. There's so many brands, and within the sub-brands, so many flavors. Then that's not even talking about your pineapples, your coconuts, and all that. I just mean rum, without any artificial flavor, if you will. So it's just too exciting to not enjoy that category. Let's see what else I got. I think that's it for today. Yeah, that looks good. So hopefully we got a few more answers out there for people, and I'm sure that means it'll inspire some new questions, and that's completely cool. I guess the question I have for you guys, since I put this on Facebook, but I don't know if everybody saw it, YouTube and such, but we did a whole week worth of co-host episodes. Doug's probably going to be moving up here in the future, so there could be more chances for co-host episodes. I've got my buddy Don, who wants to do an entire week of Southern Comfort recipes that he wants to bring in and sit down and tape. So what do you guys think of the co-host recipes, or the co-host episodes, more or less? Recipes aside, you either love or hate them, but the interaction with the two people as opposed to just me one-on-one with you. What do you think's a good balance? You know, whatever. Just a thought. Good question. All right, I'll talk to you guys later.